Hey everyone, this is Sadie. Welcome to my Flosstube. If this is your first time, welcome. If you've been here before, yes, it looks different because we are in my living room. This is also my stitchy space. I already had filmed this back 20 minutes ago and then found out it was bound to happen, but the video never saved. So here we are for take 2. I knew that if I waited until tomorrow, it would not get done because tomorrow work is going to be wild and I'm going to be way too dead to want to put this together. So we're going to do it again. Is it going to be as nice as the first time? Probably not, but it will happen. So my plan is I'm going to show you finish. Part 1 of finish. I'm going to show you a new start and show you some whips, some haul, and then we'll go from there. So thankfully I've got all my bags here since I already did this. But got my bags and I was really happy with them where I made little like library card tags so that way I know what is in each bag. And then each time I finish a bag or I finish a project, I would just cross off the name and I can put a different project in there and I'll write it down like a library card of all the different projects that were in this particular bag. So anyway, here, the finish that we have is the Sailor Moon. So same as always, I'm going to be putting a picture. I was just checking to make sure that this thing is recording because I do not want to do it a third time. So, here we are. I'm going to have to fold this up a bit so I can see. There is my lady. And so I got all of her done with her background. All I need to do is the back stitching. And technically, I also need to fill in this bow, but it is a Krynic. And there's back stitching inside that belt of hers as well, which is the same Krynic. So I just need to order that. I think I've ordered it. I'm waiting for it to come in. Once it comes in, I can complete the bow. And then I can finish back stitching her. So my goal to do that is essentially this weekend. I plan to start back stitching. She's going to take a couple weeks to back stitch. Hopefully by the end of the month, I can have her back stitch done. So that way I can move on to Venus. So that's the one I'm really happy about. The other one my other one that is a start with a part that's finished is my Woodland Winter SAL by Autumnling Stitchery. And I knew from the Queen City Stitch Retreat in October, they were coming up with plans and then they talked about considering doing a SAL during the winter time. So even though I knew it was likely not going to be a fancy lady type of stitch, I still wanted to do it because they were great people, like very down to earth, super nice, like loved being around them, and I wanted to support them. So I knew that I was going to do this SAL to support them. And so far I've had fun with it. Let me make sure because I don't remember where I put all of them. Okay, it's in my big Maryland bag. Okie dokes. So, this is the SAL. I finished part 1, which I haven't ever kept up with a SAL before. So, this has been exciting. So, this is it. Now I gotta somehow keep track to make sure I show you guys appropriately. There we go. That way works. So I've never done a house. This is my first time working with a house. The symmetry was a little tough. I've always known about myself that symmetry, I just don't like it a lot. And it's not going to be super big. They came out with part 2, and part 2 is going to go down in the bottom here. It's a bit more full coverage. Has a couple deer, a couple squirrels. So they said that if we don't finish part 2 on time, we can like likely catch up with part 3 because part 3 is going to be smaller. So I'm going to do my best. I may work on this also this weekend because this first part, I put it in my Notion that I started, and it was pretty easy to track, and I spent like full 4 days on it just finishing part 1. So I thought, okay, we can spend some good time on part 2. The fabric is Sapphire, but Fiber on the Whim. It's a 28 count linen. And I've never used Fiber on a Whim. I just went to my LNS, and Erin and Cassandra recommended a fabric that was dark blue to make it kind of look like a dark night sky in the woods. And I saw it and I grabbed it. I'm not picky about brands. There's certain people that I like, but I'm not gonna not buy from someone. So that is my start and like part 1 finish. So the other ones that I've got are my whips. Thankfully, I have my phone here. I had to switch because I did it on my phone and had notes on my computer. Now I'm on the computer, and now I got notes on the phone. I'll try to use it as little as I can. So the next one, I worked on my princesses for Allison from Cross Stitch to Globe's birthday princess SAL. The first one I worked on was Cinderella. So I got a little bit of work on her skirt. So this is her. I swear, I never know where to look with y'all. But yeah, really what I got done was this part down here. Very sparkly. So it's looking nice. I want to do all the princesses from Brooks Publishing, and I felt like Allison's birthday SAL was the great kickstart to the year and to starting that series. That was that one. The next one is the Disney Princess Silhouette. And I'm doing Rapunzel for this one first. I'm just going to put this that way you can't see through the black. And this is the Cinderella one is on raw opalescent 32 count. This one I want to say is a 32 count as well, but I'm doing it 2/1. It's alright, so this is Rapunzel. And so, working top down, and this is my first time really working with confetti. I don't think it's that super heavy confetti as like a Heaven and Earth. I'm trying to learn my weird way of parking. I mean, look at June. She is completely wrapped up in whatever threads are around her. Doing a poor job. Now I know why people have those little bobbins on their projects to hold the park threads. That's what I'm trying to do with her, and so far, she's okay. She's surviving. But it's been fun. It hasn't been too bad. I think because I'm doing it over one that... there's a hair there. I'm doing it over one, and so I just have to count to the next hole. I don't have to count like every other hole. I don't have to be concerned if I'm going to skip a hole or not skip one. So they're actually going pretty fast. Okay, those were those projects there. The other whip that I did was actually my Blackwater Siren. So that one has been my stitch and stream with the Harry Potter movies. Usually I like to try about once a year to watch the Harry Potter movies, and this past weekend I just finished the last 3. So I got some good work on Blackwater Sirens. I'm definitely not up to date on this one. I'm on part 2. I did finish part 1. But right now they're on part 4. And I feel like the difference between probably the Autumn Lane Stitchery one and this one is I am not comparing myself to other people. I am just going on the flow as if I'm the only one doing it, but then I know that there are other people doing it in the back of my mind, versus I'm in the SAL group for Bella Filipina for the Blackwater Sirens, and there are just some people that stitch this so fast. Like, they put the project out, and 24 to 48 hours later, it's completed. Someone has stitched it up. And that's amazing, right? We can be as positive as we want. Like, that's good for you. Love it. We all love to see finished products, but it makes me feel bad. Like, I feel like I'm being super slow. I feel like I'm not keeping up. And I know I'm not the only one, but that's just how I feel. It's what happens. And so then I just slow down. And sometimes that's kind of what made me stop sometimes doing a SAL. Like, I haven't even finished the seasonal mermaid one. I think I had to give that one some time away from the frenzy of the SAL and having it done so that I can just pick it up at my own rhythm and complete it as if it was a pattern that I just found and I just need to do. So I'm trying to not let it get to me, and I'm just trying to stitch it when I have time, when it's the season for it. So I'll show you the progress I got. So this is her. Compared to last time, I got like all of her arm, got her torso, and I got the rest of the rocky grass over here. And so felt like it was good progress that I got for the movies that I was watching. And so I do still want to work on her. At the same time, I want to do another stitch and stream. The one that I'm craving to do next is the Twilight series. So, unpopular thought is I enjoy the Twilight series. When it came out, I was at the end of high school, early college, and read all the books, saw all the movies, like absolutely loved it. I understand that some people hate it. They thought that it was trash. I don't care. I feel like it's similar to, I don't know if it happened to you guys, but like in late grade school, a lot of people like hated Barney, said Barney was like weird and said bad things, and if you liked Barney, you had to stay quiet. Like, I loved Barney. I enjoyed Barney. But yeah, you try to follow the crowd, and so you don't say anything. So I felt like the same thing was happening with Twilight, and no, I like it. I want to watch them again. So I want to do that stitch and stream. I may start it in February, just as a thing where I get to watch the movies again. It's like a weird romance, because it is a romantic movie, and so why not in February? Likely the project that I'll work on with that one will be the Vampirum SAL, because it's vampires, and what's not a great way to watch a vampire movie with working on a vampire project. So that's likely what I will do for February. But I don't know when I'll pull this one out again. We'll have to... It'll come out at some point. Probably it'll come out in May, because that's mermaid for me. And so got that. And then the next ones, the two that I have, it's an edit to my yearly project goals. So I still plan to have monthly goal, the same monthly goals, and I actually edited the blocks. So each month I'll put the block up of the edited version of what I want to complete, like when I want to start and what I would like to finish or complete. But there's also two projects that are really big that I would like to get done by the end of the year or even before. So one of them is Stone Roses. That's the one by Mirabilia. I'll show it here. And I have never been to a retreat until October. October was when I went to the Queen City Stitch Retreat. And that was amazing. But I saw that the year before, right, in 2023, they had Nora Corbett there. And I want to meet her. And I've loved Mirabilia. I discovered her when I was 15. And when I saw those patterns of all those beautiful women, I mean, it's the same as everyone else, right, who fell in love with them. They're gorgeous. But I was 15 and I couldn't afford them, and my parents were not going to pay like $15 for this pattern plus fabric and all that stuff. So it wasn't until I was an adult, I mean really until 2020, when everyone started coming back to cross stitching, that I started getting back into it. So it would be great to go to a retreat for that. So since then I applied and I got in for the Australia retreat for Mirabilia. that's coming up in 2 months in March, which is wild. But then I applied for the Queen City Stitch Retreat this year because Nora's going to be there, and I fortunately got into that one. So I signed up for both because I want to meet her, and I love stitching around people. So my goal with Stone Roses is to get her done by October. So I have a really small start on her. It's mainly around her feet. I'll show you the picture. But I came up with a grid system for her and also for You Belong to Me by Long Dog Sampler, so the Egyptian sampler, where I kind of calculate how many boxes essentially I needed to complete to be able to get to my goal of finishing Stone Roses in October and You Belong to Me in November. So they are lofty goals. They're about like 3,000 stitches a month, I think. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it is a lot for me, especially with all the starts and finishes I want to do each month on top of wanting to complete these 2 projects. So I'm going to do my best. I love making goals for myself and just trying to see how far I go. If I don't make it, that's fine. I still got a great amount of progress on them. But if I do make it, that's going to feel amazing. So I will show Stone Roses and the progress I've got on that one. So, all right, this is the pattern. And this one is from 1995, one of her older ones. It is still in print. I got it from Under the Sea Fabrics. They had in their physical store this one. And then the fabric that I got, I also got it Under the Sea Fabrics. And when I saw it, I immediately had to have it. So I loved it because I wanted something that would contrast with the monochromatic stitching of Stone Roses, and I felt like this rainbow beautiful piece of fabric was gonna do it justice. So here she is, making sure I show you the right side, and she is gonna be big. I usually start my projects in the center, and her feet was where the center was. So I'll try to bring this as close as I can to y'all. And it's been a little difficult to get her out because of how simple the colors are, in the sense of how it's just a lot of shades of beige. But I'm hoping with like the plan of trying to finish it in October will push me towards it. I mentioned it in the video before, right before it all disappeared, but I showed this project to my parents, like just a whiz show, and my dad was holding it with the back. So that's my back. And he just looked at it, like he just thought that, right? He looked at it and he just went, so why are there areas that are crossing? Why does it look like this? So I looked and I'm like, well, it is because that's the back and this is the front. He went, that makes sense. Like typical dad style. I thought it was adorable. I'm like, I'll take it as a compliment that you would think that's the front. But no, that's the back. So I want to work on her. And then the other one that we've got is You Belong to Me. And so this one, I have it on Fall in Love, which is from Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. I want to say that it's a 28 count as well. This is the pattern, right? It's the Egyptian sampler. And so far I've completed the top row here, and I'll show you guys. I'm kind of starting to work on where that bird is. So, that is it. And again, this one, we all know they're big projects. But this is it. So I'll kind of show from, right, that's the top to the bottom. I thought it was beautiful the way that it looks like a sunset which I thought was very appropriate for Egyptian style. And I'll try to get as close so you guys can see. Like, hopefully you guys are seeing the pattern. And I did leave the year or the end of the year blank. I didn't put a 4. I knew I wasn't going to get it done in 2024. So I needed to be able to, not give myself such lofty goals. But from back here, it looks super great. The thread that I'm using is a lightly variegated thread called Coal from Weeks Dye Works, which I thought was very appropriate considering like coal's a material like charcoal that people used back in the day for makeup, like for eyeliner type stuff. And so eyeliner, eyeshadow. So those are the 2 like big projects that I would like to get done by the end of 2025. So hopefully I can touch them a little bit at a time each month. Okay. I've got haul, and I've also got a sewing bag that I like to show. I like to show sewing bags that I make here. It is a sister to my other Marilyn Monroe bag. So the panel with the portrait of Marilyn Monroe that are on my bags, they were 4 on a panel. So I used the other 2 with this beautiful fabric. This is a thread bed that I make as well. And it is a bunch of lips, like red lips. I think it's called Just Say Anything. And I just saw it for the design. I felt like it was absolutely great to go with Marilyn Monroe. And then when I was stitching it, I thought like, ooh, I wonder who designed it. And it was Alexander Henry, who is a designer that I've liked all his fabrics, a lot of them. And I went, of course, I have taste. I know what I like. And so this is her. So this one was 2 panels. So both of the portraits were 2 separate panels that I just sewed together. And I put the bag. I think it turned out great. I tried doing this one without the bottom panel. So like my mermaid one here, where I add that fabric piece to the vinyl. I did this one just as a vinyl. And I think it turned out okay. Still a work in progress. Have my moments, but they're for personal use. And I think they turned out great. And so we'll see what project I fill this one up with. So I got her done. And then my haul. I think at first I was gonna... give me a second. I did not bring them. Oh. Give me a minute. Alright. I am back. And I brought my haul. Background story. I don't know what to call them in the sense of... I think I wanted to call them like shame haul, but that sounds like a terrible name. That sounds like we're doing a bad thing. But no, I didn't do a bad thing. And I think if I felt like I did a bad thing, it was not intentional. So, story to it is I was on Etsy, like anyone does, and I saw this cross-stitch pattern design, and I saw multiple that I hadn't ever seen anyone stitch, and I hadn't ever seen anyone show, and they were PDF files, and I was like, oh my gosh, these look so great. And so I bought them. I think I bought 4 of them. And then, months later, like if anything, 3 days ago, I saw on Instagram that someone posted their whips, and one of them was one of those projects. And I went, oh my gosh, like, that's amazing. I hadn't seen anyone stitch them before. And then I saw on their post of it who the designer was. And I recognized that it's not the same name as from the company that I bought the cross-stitch pattern from. So I was like, uh-oh. I'm like, I wonder if this was like a copied, stolen type of situation. So I look back, and yeah, the company that was selling the design, I won't say their name, but it looked like they copied and essentially are selling the pattern without permission. So I went, hot dog. I saw that the original designer sells through a company, but they sell the kits of these projects. And so I said, okay, to redeem myself, to make myself feel better, I will buy the pattern as it came originally. So I'll buy the kit. So I found 3 of the 4. I bought 2 of them. The other one I'm just waiting on because I don't have that much money to be able to spend on them. And the other one I haven't found. I feel like the other one is out of print. So I'll be hunting for that, and I just won't use the pattern that I've got downloaded to, at this time, or ever, hopefully. So the 2 patterns that I got, they're from Magic Needle, which I saw all their other work, and I want a lot of their other patterns as well, but I told myself, no, let's stick with the ones that you found, and we'll try to work on those first. So the first one is Christmas Fairy Tale, and I think it is super beautiful. Trying to make sure. Very high contrast, like ribbons, pine needles, the orbs with the deer and the house. So super cute. Comes in 14 Adam, Zweigart, and likely I will do this one on the called for. It looks like it's a light gray color. And with the called for threads. That part doesn't bother me. The other one that I got, same thing from Magic Needle, is Frosty Evening. And this one's really pretty. My favorite color is purple, and I love all the different shades of purple that are in this one. This is one that I may actually change the fabric for, because I would like that moon to stand out more. And the fabric color here is just really light. It's like a really light gray, and I feel like the white is just going to, it's just gonna like blend. It's gonna, as people call it, it's gonna ghost. And so I don't know if I'll probably get just a darker gray. I thought of doing it like a deep, deep purple. That would be nice. Kind of like a 550. Do I have that? I'm thinking like that. Maybe not that one. No, the other one I'd say maybe it's 150, 154. These are my Rapunzel threads. But a 154, maybe. I don't know. But I thought that would be cool. So, these is my haul. Okie dokes. Sometimes other things that I mention are any people that have been watching. I just saw Thread Gremlins working on Rapunzel. I always enjoyed their videos. I really enjoyed Cross Stitch the Globe and Cam the Stitcher's 2025 predictions. I felt like some of them definitely I can see being a thing. And if they aren't a thing, then people are going to make them happen. I do believe that a lot of people are going to make DMC master sets. Like, I know I'm working on it. And I'm right here, so I might as well I'm in my stitch space. So, my boyfriend, he got, ridiculously excited, a year ago and got me a couple of these. And I just said, well, if he got them, I'll use them. So I've been working on my DMC master set. And the one that I think is going to happen is there's going to be more SALs, but more non-mystery SALs. So, I think Annie from EXO Needle in a Hay, EXO, and Maggie and Amy, they are both doing different SALs where the project is already known. It's been out. People know what the end result looks like, but they're taking it and then breaking it up into pieces and recommending to people what piece to work on at what time. I feel like that's going to be really popular because I have a feeling some people are a bit not comfortable with some mystery SALs. People like to see what the finished product is. So I think people seeing what the finished product is, but having someone guide them through the process of what piece to go through is going to become really popular. that's my one prediction I have for the year. Saw them. Then let's see. And then I saw Pirate and Robin. So I saw Robin in her Flosstube. She did her whip parade, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed her personality so much. Like, it felt like a conversation with her. She just felt so real. She's just laughing and stuff. I enjoy that. And like, being honest of when projects are not giving you joy, or when people get real, that's what I like. So I felt like Robin did a really good job. I want to call her Piper Robin, but how Robin was. So that is it. I made it to 30 minutes. Who knows how long I was in the other one. But I hope you guys have a good night, and I will see you in a couple weeks. Bye.